नहमदुहु व नसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम. In the context of Murakkab Tawsifi, today we are going to talk about something called Nisba adjective. Nisbatun or Nisba, if we do not fully vocalize it, that means connection, affiliation, link, relation, etc. So we can call this relative adjective. These are usually derived from names of places such as Makkah, Medina, Baghdad. So basically these are a lot of proper nouns, and we can call them names of affiliation. For example, we hear or say or read kahwatun arabiyatun, Arabic coffee. Kahwa, coffee, arabiyatun, Arabic. So coffee, what kind of coffee? Arabic coffee. So masuf, sifa. But here sifa is nisba adjective, because this noun or sifa tells us that this coffee belongs to a certain group, for example, in this case. So kahwatun arabiyatun, Arabic coffee. We can also say al adabul injiliziyu, English literature. So what we are saying here is that literature, which al-adab, what kind of literature? English literature. So something of or pertaining to English. That's what we are saying. So how we make these adjectives from the relevant nouns? Based on the method of converting a noun to adjective, there are different groups of words, and the first group of words is the words which contain al. For example, China, we say China. China. So in Arabic we say asinu. Let's add al here, al, and then we can add here asinu, which is China. Asinu. So now we want to, this is China, and now we want to say Chinese as somebody who belongs to China. So we are going to change this noun to nisba adjective, noun of affiliation, so to say. So what are we going to do is we're going to remove lam from here. That will be removed, and then we are going to add ya with shadda here. So after removing this al, we have seen. So when we add this ya with shadda, this alphabet which is just before this, which precedes this, must contain kasra. That's another rule for this. So this will take a kasra and dhamma will go. So we have removed this, we have changed dhamma to kasra, we have added ya with shadda. So we are basically left with siniyun, we get shadda and then we got tanween. Siniyun. Siniyun. So Chinese, so that will be Chinese male person, and we can easily change this to feminine noun, and we know how to do this. The last alphabet will take fataha, and then we add ta marbuta, so we change that to si niyatun. So we can say ana siniyun, I am Chinese, if a male person is saying. If a female person is saying I am Chinese, we'll say ana siniyatun. So from a scene we have made these two nisba adjectives. One is masculine, the other one is feminine. So let's make this, for example, we can add ana here, and in this case ana will be mubtada and that will be our khabar. So I am Chinese. Similarly, ana siniyatan, I am Chinese. For example, Mexico, we have a word Mexico. So we have al Mexico. Add al here. Al Swad was a Shamsi word. Meme is not Shamsi, so al is going, lam is going to be pronounced here. So we got al kind of Mexico. Al Mexico. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this al from here. So apply the same principle here as well. So Mexicu, add ya here. So that will change to kasra, that will take shadda. So Mexicuyun, I'm Mexican, male, and we can change that to female, feminine, noun. Similarly, change that to Mexicuyatun. So I'm Mexican male, I'm Mexican female. Let's look at another example. Al-Hind, India. We call Al-Hind, Al-Hindu. So we are going to remove that al from here and give ya and give it shadda, and that will change to kasra. So we are left with Hindiyun. Ana Hindiyun, I'm Indian. Or we can say ana Hindiyatun, female. Hindiyatun. So ana Hindiyatun, female will say I'm Indian, male will say ana Hindiyun. So these are the rules which apply to if we have a noun which has al as a prefix to it. Now there is another group which the names of countries or places, they end with different alphabets, and those are, could be alif there, ya, ta marbuta, could be ya alif, and could be ya and ta marbuta. So if any name of a place or a country ends with these endings, so to say, because they're not just alphabets, these are alphabets, but then these are more than one alphabet here. So these endings, if they take these endings, then the rule is slightly different. For example, we say America, American, America, sorry, America. America is America. America. We've got alif here like that, and America. So this, the name of a place ends with alif. So what rule do we have here? We are going to remove this alif from here, and similarly this ka will take kasra, and that will take ya here, shadda, and that will be kasra, and we are going to remove this alif from here. So what we are left with is then ri and kaf, and then we have got ya. Ri, that's going to take kasra and shadda and tanween on ya. So Amrikiyun, I'm American. This is America, this is this is American, so we'll say Ana Amrikiyun, I'm American. And if a female person will say, we have to add ta marbuta here, that will become Amrikiyatun. Yeah, Amrikiyatun. Ana Amrikiyatun. I am American. We can also say similarly American in literature, for example. Got a space there. American literature. So we will say similarly al-adabu, al-adabu. This is a bit tricky here because we have to add al here. Al Amarikiyatu. Al Amarikiyatu. Because we are saying here al other, which is literature is by its nature going to be definite, so that noun has got prefix al with it, and that's our mawsuf, and this is our sifa, and sifa has to follow mawsuf. So if mawsuf is definite, sifa will have to be definite. So here we will have to add al, although in the previous examples we removed al to make nisba adjective, but here because of this construction, which is adjective phrase basically, murakkab tawsifi, so we will have to say al adabul, this is hamzatul wasl, al adabul amrikiyatu, amrikiyatu. This will not take tanween clearly because when al comes, tanween goes, so this is not going to take tanween. So al adabul amrikiyatu. American literature, or what we are saying basically is that the totality of American literature. That's basically what we are saying. So al-adabul amrikiyatu. Let's look at another example. Mali is a country. Mali. So that will be in Arabic ma lam and ya. Mali, Maliyu. So basically this is ending with this ya here, isn't it? So let's give it a different color. Maliyu. Maliyu. There's no shadda here. It's Maliyu. Mali. Mali as a country, as a noun. No, we want to say Mali person. Okay. So we'll have to change this to nisba adjective. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do ma, similarly li, and we're gonna remove this ya, but we're gonna add ya shadda anyway, ya mushaddad. So we're removing this ya with dhamma, but we're then adding ya with shadda, which is the same thing. We're just applying the rule. Mali shadda and yun. Maliyun. I'm a Mali. And feminine will be Maliyatan. Maliyatan. I'm a Mali, for a female person. So next example, we can look at a word which ends with this and actually has al as well. So there are two components which we're going to remove. For example, we say as-Saudiya. We're not going to pronounce lam here as well because seen is harf shamsi, harf shamsiya. So as-Saudiya, as-Saudiya as a country. As-Saudiya too. Saudi Arabia. As-Saudiya, or Saudi, in English say Saudi as a country. No, we want to say that I am Saudi. So we will have to change this. We'll have to remove this al from here according to our first rule, and the rule from here we're gonna remove ya and ta as well from here. So we're gonna remove these two, and then we will be left with Saudi, and then we have to add ya mushaddad. Saudi, whether we do this here doesn't matter. Saudiyun, I am Saudi, and feminine will be Saudiyatan, I am a Saudi. So masculine and feminine. What if a country's name doesn't have any of these additions at all? For example, we have Misr. Names of countries are usually Garu Munsrif, so they don't take the mean. So we can say Misr, Misru, or Misr. Misr doesn't have al before this and doesn't end with any of these at all. So in this case, we do not have to do anything. We just have to add ya here, shadda, Misriyun, ana Misriyun, I'm Misri. We can also say feminine, Misriyatan. So very simple here. nothing to remove, just an addition. Ana misriyun, ana misriyatun. Similarly, we can say Pakistan. Pakistan is a country. So Pakistanu. In Arabic, they do not have that pay, which is with Pakistan, P kind of thing. So Pakistanu. And no one to say I'm Pakistani. So all we have to do is to add this here, give this kasra and add tanween. So that will become Pakistaniyun. Let's write down separately here. Pakistaniyun. I'm Pakistani. Or we can, female will say Pakistaniyatun. Pakistaniyatun. Masculine, feminine. So these are a few examples to different groups of words and how we make nisba adjective from these. There is another word which is the pattern of fa'ilatun. We are now familiar with roots and pattern system. We have talked a little bit about it. When we are going to start our work on fail, we will work on so many roots and patterns later on. But we have talked about a little bit about these roots and patterns, and if you want a refresher, please go back to the relevant video and watch it again. So we have a wazn or a pattern called fa'ilatun. Fa'ilatun. So there's fa kalma, ain kalma and lam kalma, and these are extras. Ya is extra and ta here is extra. So for example, we have a word on this pattern, madinatun. Madinatun. So this is root word, this is root, and noon is root here. Root, root, and root. And here we have these extras. Ya is extra from the root point of view. These are not part of the root. And this is they're part of the word but not part of the root. So that's extra. So in this particular example, we will have to remove these extraneous parts to change this to nisba adjective. So what we do is, what we're left with here is meme, dal and noon. So let's work on it. Meme and dal, this is fatha here, Medina, fatha. So meme and that here, then we have noon, that we have to add ya mushaddad here and give it shadda, and this is our noon. So these are our three root words, and we have this ya here, madani yun. So that's one thing, we have to remove these extraneous parts and add ya mushaddad. And another rule is that this ain kalma here, which is our ain kalma, it is mandatory to give this fatha. So our kasra is going to change to fatha. So we are left with finally madaniyun. Madaniyun. Madani are affiliated with Medina. So, for example, we have surahs in Quran. Some of them are Makki and some of them are Madni. So, Surah Baqarah is Madni surah. So we will write like this: Suratul Baqarati, mudaf alayhi construction. Suratul Baqarati madaniyatun. From madaniyun, the feminine will be madaniyatun. Madaniyatun, because surah is feminine and the khabar has to be feminine. In this case, this is clearly jumla ismiya. This is mudaf and that's mudaf ilayh, and they combine to make mubtada, and we have our khabar which is indefinite, and mubtada and khabar combine to make jumla ismiya khabariya. And we know that khabar follows mubtada both in gender and number. So surah is feminine, so we cannot say madaniyun, we will have to say madaniyatun, and that is written at the beginning of Surah Baqarah. Similarly, at the beginning of, for example, Makki surah, Surah Mulk is Makki surah. So at the beginning of surah is written Suratul Mulki. Suratul Mulki, mudaf alayhi construction, Makkiyatun, Makkatun, and then we change that to Makkiyatun. We have already applied these rules, which we are using here to change this to nisba adjective from Makkah to Makkiyatun. Feminine, Makkiya. Makkiyatun. Suratul Mulki, Makkiya. These two dots are extra. Okay. So Makkiyatun. Makkiyun will be Muzakkar. Makkiyun, and from that we have Makkiyatan from Makkah. Makkatu is the original word. It's Garu Munsif, Makkatu. So we're going to remove this ta and add ya here. So remove that and add ya and give this kasra rather than fatha. So Makkiya, Makkiyun, like that. Makkiyun, and then we have Makkiyatun. Suratul Mulki, Makkiyatun. I have a hadith here which is relevant to Surah Mulk. Today's video was quite short, so I thought I'll bring that hadith. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من القرآن ثلاثون آية. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, in Quran there are 30 ayah, shafa'at li rajulin hatta ughfira lahu. So these ayah, that surah kept on interceding until that man was forgiven. Wahiya tabarakallazi biyadihil mulku, and that is Tabarakallazi biyadihil mulku wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. So that's Surah Mulk, and Prophet used to read Surah Mulk and Surah Sajda every night at bedtime, and in a way that is Sunnah of our Prophet. And that's another hadith about, that's Rawahu Abu Dawud from Tirmidhi, and this is also from Tirmidhi hadith. An Ma'ad ibn in Kala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Man ahabba sunnati, whoever liked my sunnah, whoever loved my sunnah, or showed affection to my sunnah, fa ahabbani, so he loved me. Waman ahabbani, and whoever loved me or liked me, kana ma'iya fil jannah, he is going to be with me in Jannah. So reciting Surah Mulk has got a double benefit. One, it is going to intercede until one is forgiven, and second, it's a sunnah as well. I just work on grammar. I know a little bit of grammar. I'm not really in a position, I'm not a scholar, so I'm not really in a position to give advice to anyone. I'm a fallible human being anyway. But from time to time something like this will come, and these are only 30 ayahs, and they're easy to memorize, and if that becomes our habit to read at bedtime, that will be great. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.